You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast
delivering player experience news.
Let's go! What's up, guys? Welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 149. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM on Twitter, and I am joined over Discord by the Nintendo aficionado, Roshan Warner, at Roro, the host of Large Popcorn and video essayist, Christian Macias, at ISO Christian, and...
Rest in peace, the Choco Taco.
Dan, you had one instruction.
I forgot.
You had one instruction.
I forgot. And one half of the Men and Gitch podcast, Gage Dempster, at Gilbo Biggins. Hello, everyone.
Hi. I thought that was
the Choco Taco.
Yeah, that was a banger ad lib, my brother. That was good.
Yeah, thanks.
That was brilliant.
Someone appreciates it.
I wish I would have remembered to stop because I clearly didn't.
You aren't the only one that wishes.
Dan, that's the only thing you need to remember all the time is just stop. Just stop.
Just
and you never
stop
remember.
Recording right now. Stop. We're done. 149. That's it.
Hey Dan, what are your thoughts on Hershey's chocolate?
Oh, get out of here. Thank you to everyone watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube. Just search Podcast PXN. And you'll find us there, as well as twitch.tv/podcastpxn, Twitter at podcastpxn as well. The topic of the show this week, guys, is our news on GTA 6 and Rockstar's little reformulation of their studio. But first, not quite to the quick bites, guys. We just showed off in our pre-show a little episode 150 teaser trailer for next week with some announcements. So for podcast listeners, we're going to go over those announcements right now. Here we go. First announcement, guys. We have a brand new website that is launching today, right now.
Right now? I didn't know this.
It's launched right now. So it's podcastpxn.wixsite.com/podcastpxn. So we're using Wix to host it. So yeah, check that out. And with this new website, we have a little giveaway going on that starts right after this podcast finishes recording at 9 p.m. tonight. But there will be a tweet that'll post about 15 minutes into this episode, so make sure you check out our Twitter at Podcast PXN. And guys, what is this giveaway that we're giving away? I believe it is this thing right here that's right next to me, a custom Podcast PXN branded Xbox Series S and X controller. It is
sexy,
branded with
hot.
our colors.
It's looking hot,
and yeah, it has Podcast PXN inscripted at the bottom.
Now, Dan,
are
you thinking about buying a second one of those for yourself?
I honestly, it came in and I was like, do I really want to give this away? Because that thing is nice.
It looks really good.
You know what? You should. I don't know if you're able to, but you should share the colors that you chose. Because I'm like, I kind of want to get one too. Like have like a Podcast PXN controller.
Yeah,
that's cool. I like it. It's a great looking controller.
I did save the theme, so I can definitely share
perfect.
That. Yeah.
Fine, I will give away my regular Xbox. It's got rechargeable batteries. It's great. I'll give it away too. Just kidding.
All right.
I thought you were going to say that you're going to give that away and then you'll just take the PXN controller.
Oh, no.
I mean, sure.
Smart, though.
So, guys, make sure you check out our Twitter for that. Very exciting stuff. And you'll actually fill out a form on our brand new website to sign up for the chance to win that. So that'll be cool. Yo, Christian.
I got to say, the controller's hot, but the website is just as sexy. And Dan, you put a lot of work into this, and it looks great. I'm on it right now, just clicking around. Everything's working. Looks great.
Yep.
Top notch. Top notch.
Well done, sir.
It was a long effort.
It looks good, man. It looks good. The transitions, the animations when you hover over things. Good stuff.
There's one more piece of news that we're sharing this week, which is our episode 150 trivia / Jeopardy that is being hosted by none other than Christian next week. How exciting.
Yes. ISO Jeopardy returns, PXN edition, and then you know what? Just for today, just for the listeners here on 149, I have a little treat.
Ooh.
This isn't a Jeopardy question, but I want us to get in the mood to thinking about video game trivia coming up next week. And so I figured, real quick, I want us to guess not me, you three, the top 5 best-selling games of all time. I'm gonna give you guys some hints, but actually, do you want some guesses off the bat?
No hints.
No
Yeah,
hints.
I want to go in.
Okay.
I know one.
I think I know this.
I know 2.
I know number 1 and I know number 2.
3. I know 3 of them.
Can I just guess one right now before these
Go
two?
for it, Ro.
GTA 5? It's got to be one of them, right?
Ro got one. That's number 2 with 165 million.
I'm gonna give you number 1. You want number 1?
Tell me.
Number 1.
Tetris.
No, that is number 3 with 100 million.
Oh, but it's on there.
Minecraft.
It's on there. That's number 1.
Minecraft.
238 million.
Wow.
And
There's
then
2 more that we still need to get.
Is
Two
Wii
more,
Sports, right? Wii Sports.
Mario 64.
Wii Sports is indeed number 4 with 82 million. We're looking for number 5.
Is it Super Mario?
It is not. That's number 6.
Oh, wow. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Is number 7.
Oh,
Dragon's
wow.
Dogma.
Damn it.
Is nowhere near the top 10.
It's nowhere to be found.
Oh, man.
I'm not sure on this.
You want a hint?
Is it Animal Crossing New Horizons?
It's a shooter.
Oh,
Modern Warfare 3.
No.
Really?
shooter. Is it a Call of Duty?
It is not a Call of Duty. It is a battle royale.
I was going to say Fortnite.
Yeah.
Is it PUBG?
I guess it is PUBG, my guy. PUBG, 75
What?
million.
Wow. Interesting.
Yep.
That was fun. I like that. PUBG. That would have been my
I would
last
not have.
guess.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Which is
If
a
you
weird
didn't say
one.
battle royale, that would have been not said at all. Was not even thinking that.
It's a weird
Stay
one.
tuned for...
Oh, sorry.
Uh-huh.
I was just gonna say it's a weird one too because it's not. It's free to play now, right?
Yes. You're right. Yeah. Anyway, stay tuned for 150 for more video game trivia.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah. Christian's been working hard on that, so very excited to see that. All right. Guys, now do we want to go into our quick bites?
Yes.
We do have another announcement next week, so you'll have to stay tuned for next week's episode to hear what that is about episode 200. Hear about that. First quick bite, guys. The Last of Us Part 1 gets a brand new trailer. Lots of cool stuff in that new trailer. It looks really good. They showed off a lot of the enhancements they're doing. One of the cooler parts that I thought that was interesting is a lot of their new accessibility options that they're putting in there, which seem to actually like further what they did with The Last of Us Part 2, which is really cool. One of the things that I thought was cool was they have someone read out basically like the actions that are happening on the screen, which is really interesting. I've never seen that done in a video game before. So yeah, very cool.
Yeah, describe video.
Perfect. Yep. Yeah, description. This is on par with me of like S tier accessibility with Forza's signing that they have in like the lower third. Incredible to see like this level of accessibility come to like first party games, like both Xbox and not Sony games. So very cool.
I apologize, Dan. Right off the hop, we might turn this one into a not so quick bite because I have something to say about this. This trailer has actually kind of put me into the other camp a bit. It seems like there's not as many gameplay improvements as I thought there was. There's no dodging, there's no prone. It seems like it's just an animation overhaul, which kind of has me a little worried, I'm not gonna lie. You guys know me, I was in Naughty Dog's camp. I was like, just wait till we see it, guys. It's probably worth the money. And I mean, it's still subjective, but I'm looking at this and I'm like, I really thought they were gonna port Last of Us 1 into Last of Us 2's engine and just really like the only reason I bring this up is that it's like, is this remake or is this kind of like remaster territory again? To me, remake was like brand new engine, new gameplay features. This just seems like new animations. I know the gun bench is from Last of Us Part 2 and that's cool, but like I can't dodge and have these really cool like melee battles as Joel. I can't prone and like wait and ambush people. That kind of sucks.
But
not gonna lie.
that's different because that's a different game style. And honestly, you're right because I think if anything, it's Sony's fault for marketing in that way and then opening up pre-orders beforehand. Like,
right.
if there's any blame there, I think it's totally on Sony's fault. And then just the wording on this, like, from the ground up remake, and like, well, it gets a lot muddier. But like, you're right. But I still say it's more on the remake side than remaster, considering how much work is actually going into reworking all the assets that are existing, and then. Okay, see, as I'm describing this, I'm already like falling into the trap of remake.
It's tough, right? Like it's kind of.
It's
well,
hard.
then there's also like there's remaster, there's remake, there's remix. This might be kind of like that category where it's like I totally understand the developers. You can see they put a lot of love and care into it, but from like a big picture sort of standpoint, I'm watching this and I was kind of disappointed, even though I was totally hot on this before this 10-minute deep dive. I'm kind of like shit. I don't know.
The way I'm imagining it is less Final Fantasy VII remake and more akin to like a Demon Souls remake, where it's still the same assets, but it's built for a new console and for a new generation.
Right.
Even though obviously the difference is way crazier on Demon Souls than it is for a Last of Us game.
Now, I'm kind of safe in this no matter what because I'm a PC guy. So this game coming to PC that's reason enough for me to buy it. Like it pays for itself for me to play this on the console on the platform of my choosing with mouse and keyboard. For me, that's cool, but I can kind of see now with some PlayStation 5 people how they might be a little bit jaded where it's like, like for me, I'm still sold on this for all the reasons I just listed, but I'm starting to kind of see the other side now where it's like, oh man, after this deep dive, like I was really hoping. Ro and I have talked about this numbers of time on the podcast and off the podcast, where it's like when I was playing as Abby in the second half of Last of Us Part 2, I'm like, oh, could you imagine like all these animations as Joel and just going through and tearing people up? And it's like, that's what I was hoping for. You know what I mean? You wouldn't even, hell, you could just use all of Abby's animations for Joel. She's a tank as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like you just model swap at that point. I would have been fine with that, but it's a bit disappointing that I'm not going to be able to just dismember people with my hands as Joel. I'm gonna have to do what I did in the first one, which is fine. It's still fun, but
Halo 2 gameplay is so goated.
it's so good. It's so good, dude. Especially as Abby. Oh my god.
I love
Spoilers,
the
man.
yeah. I love the additions to the adaptive triggers though. Like that stuff was like so cool with the giraffe moments, the quieter moments, and the actual gameplay moments where Ellie with the bow and feeling that tension. I know that's something that I talked about for a bunch of games like Horizon, and they've other stuff too. But The Last of Us I feel like it'll fit with The Last of Us really well. The pump of the shotgun, how they're describing it sounds like it's. I mean, that's enough for me. Like I feel like that's that's for me. I would pay the $70 and the $90. Christian, I feel like what is
I forgot. I've looked at the video of the workbench, which is ripped out of like Tlu 2, which was not the same as Tlu 1. Like has me really thinking. Like there's enough small differences that it might feel like I'm playing this game for the first time again, even though I'm technically not.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
I feel like, and the gameplay stuff, I understand that. I think Joel, like you're saying, Gage, he'll probably play pretty similarly to how he did before, but I feel like there's going to be moments where there'll be some finishers that we haven't seen before. I'm sure there's going to be like a few updated animations. I hope at least, but yeah, the trailer did the complete opposite for me. I was like, I was already in the Naughty Dog camp, but after watching, I was like, I'm even more in the Naughty Dog camp.
Right.
But yeah, I completely, I can't disagree with anything that you guys are saying, though. Like everything that you're saying is completely valid, and the points that you're making are not wrong. I just see more value in it, I guess, right now.
I think
It's interesting.
the way that I was thinking of it is like the gameplay is like a remaster, but the visual fidelity is like a remake. That's what it feels like to me.
And it's weird because they're like again, it's hard to market. Like Christian said, that I don't think they've been marketing properly. But also, it's weird because it's like the AI has been remade, right? Like they did remake the AI, but like all of the game, but like you said, Dan, like from a gameplay mechanics perspective, it's just a simple remaster. And even like when I was watching that gameplay, like some of the like when he's hitting people with the 2x4, I'm like, oh, that's the exact same. You guys did a new animation from the ground up, but that looks the same as when you played it. But other parts with the AI and the pathfinding and the nav, it's all been remade completely. So it's like this weird remake remaster hybrid. Yeah, I'm still hyped to play this on PC. Don't get me wrong, I'm ready to jump back into this. But I can kind of see the argument from some people who already have bought this game twice to kind of be like, doesn't need to be $70. I can kind of see that. But yeah, I mean the detail into the new models is like, yeah, it's insane. I'm very excited.
I'm sorry, I have one more thing to say.
No, you're good.
One note I think on the AI is that this is where I think I'm really excited, but also like still a little bummed. I would maybe say is that I know they're overhauling the AI, and what they're really doing for the companion stuff is awesome to see, because like that is completely reworked from TLU 1,
Right.
and maybe even like TLU 2 to an extent. But I will miss how in depth it felt in The Last of Us 2, with every single AI, enemy AI, having a name and dialogue that's happening in conjunction with what you're doing as a player in those combat
Right.
scenarios. That was like a level of immersion did not expect out of a Naughty Dog game. That like took me by surprise and ended up being one of my favorite things. And I don't know to what extent how that's going to be in TLU 1 remake.
Right.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, and just objectively, this game is going to be worth the $70. It's just a matter of if
Yes.
someone, who's played it before may not necessarily feel it's worth that.
For sure.
All right, guys. Well, while we were all discussing that, I just stuck that in the news of the week instead of Quick Bites, and I moved this other item into Quick Bites. So there's a little prelude to our news of the week, guys, because we went in depth in there, and I wasn't expecting us to. And I feel like you guys won't be upset that I moved this one into.
No, that's a
Quick
good
Bites.
swap. That's
Okay.
a good swap.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So our first quick bite then, guys, is we've got some Ubisoft news. Ubisoft has officially delayed Avatar Frontiers of Pandora to 2023 to 2024. Not terribly surprising since we really haven't seen that game yet. We also got a few other little tidbits in here as well, which says that Ubisoft will reveal the future of Assassin's Creed in September. They're saying that that there's a reveal of Tom Clancy's The Division Resurgence for mobile, which is coming in line with a stated strategy of expanding the brand's universe to a significantly larger audience. Not sure if that's what the audience is looking for, but I guess we'll see. And then the last thing here that I put, Ghost Recon Frontline and Splinter Cell VR have both been canceled, as well as 2 other unannounced games. So guys, any ideas on what are those other announced games? Like unannounced games?
Knowing my luck with Ubisoft, it's one of those was the Ghost Recon sequel, and that's not coming now. It's fine, whatever. Ghost Recon is just it's dead. I'm glad for Frontline is canceled. Not in the sense that
Sure.
I hope that any of the devs are affected by that. Like I hope that they just put them on other tasks. But what an absolute spit on the legacy of that franchise. This is the complete opposite of anything Ghost Recon. Like you have some diehards in the Ghost Recon fan base, which is myself, because I grew up playing those games and I love them. I don't talk about them a lot because there's not much to talk about. Like even Wildlands and Breakpoint, while fun, and we've bickered about this before in the past, like to me those still aren't Ghost Recon games. Like it's still like unnecessary, like the open world part's unnecessary. It's very like GTA clone. So the Frontline was just like even farther down that path of like, you guys really don't care about Ghost Recon at all. You're just putting this branding on there. So I kind of like that from a philosophical standpoint, I guess, but it was definitely made for business decisions. Don't get me wrong.
Are they going to be canceling the what was the COD clone shooter that was in like
X Defiant?
X Defiant.
That was announced. So if it is going to be canceled,
True.
that wouldn't be in this batch. That would be coming after. But that also was not great when I played that. It did not feel good at all. I didn't play it.
Oh, smart. I have an odd question here in relation to the Ubisoft news. Totally subjective here. What is more concerning to you? A Quantic Dream Star Wars game, the Quantic Dream Star Wars game, or the Ubisoft Avatar? Like, I'm worried about both of those games, but I can't tell which one I'm more. Yeah, exactly.
I'd say Quantic Dream, because then they say that it's like 2025
That's true. They don't even know about that game yet.
6 or something. Yeah, something crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I look at this Avatar like window. Oh, it's coming either next year or the year after. We don't really know. Like, I don't know.
That's true.
And yeah, we haven't really seen anything of either game yet, right? Technically.
Correct.
The Avatar stuff was just CGI stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't know. Ubisoft is not giving me a lot of faith recently, so
No.
yeah.
There's a good article I saw. I want to say it was Washington Post or New York Times, but one of the video game divisions over there. And the article headline was just perfect. It was like, "Is Ubisoft okay?" And it's like, right now, like, no, not really. You know what I will say? If in the off chance that some random Ubisoft employee stumbles across this video and makes it to this exact time, that's what I want to say to you, Ubisoft. Take a look at Capcom. Capcom has a renaissance happening, and they did so by doubling down on their old franchises and doing what they do best. Ubisoft, for the past 10 years, has been taking their unique IPs and turning those into generic clones of other games, trying to chase the bank. Capcom did the opposite, and it worked out for them incredibly. It paid out in spades, because you know what? While Resident Evil might not be as popular as Call of Duty, people that want that type of experience will flock to it if you double down on that. Give me a over-the-shoulder, linear Ghost Recon tactical game, please. I want a stealth-focused Splinter Cell game, please. I want a parkour-based Assassin's Creed game with no fucking RPG mechanics, please. You have all these unique IP. Make them unique, please. Please, Ubisoft.
Please.
Bleed
Wow.
is on.
That's
All
my
right.
plead.
Our next quick bite, guys. The Joker officially will not be showing up in Gotham Knights. This leads me to wonder what we're having to face in Gotham Knights. I hope there's some really cool bad guys in Gotham Knights. Of course, Joker is one of the most iconic bad guys, and he's used so much.
There's so many.
But he's
others.
dead.
Yeah. Well, no, this takes place in a different timeline, right? Correct?
I thought it was in the Arkham universe.
Is this
it
part of
not?
the multiverse?
I don't think so. I think they said that this game takes place in like a bubble, because people were saying Bruce Wayne's dead or whatever, so that like it's a sequel to Arkham, whatever the last one is,
Night.
Spoilers.
Knight. But then they confirmed after the fact that no, this is not a sequel to Arkham Knight. This is a standalone thing. So, yeah, I don't know.
I thought I heard rumors that this game, like, I don't follow this at all, but I thought I heard rumors that you're fighting the Court of Owls. I don't know if that means anything.
Yeah.
That's my assumption as well.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're fighting birds, but
Yeah.
Dude, Court of Owls rules, dude.
maybe.
Apparently, yeah.
Definitely
Apparently, it's
maybe.
a good comic run. I've heard good things as well, Christian. I haven't read it, but I've heard good.
Thank
things.
you, bro.
Heard good things. I don't know why this is news though. This is so weird. Why would they admit this?
Joker's, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, just so you guys know, don't get your hopes up. But I do think they
It's
followed
like
it up.
DC.
No, Sky. I just think they followed it up with saying that Harley Quinn might show up though. Right? I think that's what
I
they
missed
said.
that.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
but yeah, it's interesting.
I have a question for you guys. Is this even farther down the rabbit hole of how we talk about we don't like announcements of announcements? Is this an announcement of a non-announcement?
True.
We're announcing that Joker's not in the game.
I should have
Just
cut
wanted
it
to
out.
let you guys know. Oh my god.
All right, next.
Well,
quick
I mean,
question.
I immediately akined it to DC at Comic-Con saying Superman Henry Cavill is not here. I don't know.
That's
Mm.
fair. I am now DC since I put this news story in here. Our next quick bite, guys. Guerrilla Games is shutting down multiplayer for Killzone Mercenary, Killzone Shadowfall, and Riggs, which I have no idea what Riggs Mechanized Combat League is, but Christian's giving me a real shocked face there.
You got a stink eye there.
Bro, Riggs is a supremely underrated PSVR game. I understand why it's being shelved though, but still.
I can't
Come on.
believe that Killzone Mercenary was still up all this time. Like, I remember playing that game in like early high school. I'm shocked that was still going. So I get that too.
Early high school. Wow, you're showing our
Yeah.
age here on Podcast PX.
2013 it came out. Right?
Early
I
high
think
school, 2013?
I don't know. When did I start high school? Yeah, I graduated in 2015.
We hate to see it, folks.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I graduated in 2015. I don't know.
Dan was playing with the Model T his first year of high school.
Here we go. Moving on to the next.
That is awesome.
To the next news story. LeBron James and Rick and Morty have officially joined the Multiversus game from DC. They've got some crazy numbers they've been posting as well, which is really cool to see. They had a peak of 144,456 concurrent players on Steam alone yesterday. And now, granted, this game is still it was still in early access at the time of that number coming out. And now the open beta is officially live, so everyone can go ahead and flock to Multiversus. And I think this is awesome, and it's an indication of the gameplay actually being very fun as I played it last week. So yeah, guys, dive into some Multiversus. We need to play some here.
That's on Steam?
It's on everywhere.
Okay. On PC, it's on Steam? I'm going to download it right now.
Yes.
We should absolutely all play that.
There's my friend had some firsthand experience with the beta already, and it said that the tutorial is actually like pretty lengthy and refreshing to see in like a Smash style game. In comparison, obviously, to Smash games, which just kind of throw you in. Sure, it's pick up and play, but like it's still nice to have that if you want.
Absolutely. Moving into our next quick bite, guys. The team behind NFT Worlds, the Minecraft NFT project, have some harsh words for Microsoft. So apparently the team behind NFT Worlds, the Minecraft NFT project, are now in jeopardy over Mojang's blockchain ban, and they have harsh words for Microsoft. The company says it's now making its own game based on Minecraft's mechanics. Make no mistake, this is a Web 2 versus Web 3 battle. And end quote. What? No. What? The fact that Mojang came out and said, like, no NFTs, no blockchain bullshit is why people were excited about this. So, like, you're not going to have any backing from the majority of players out there. And the fact that Minecraft is a largely kid-focused game, I think it's disgusting that there's a company like this that's trying to take advantage of that by getting kids to buy all of this crap that, I don't even know what an NFT is, really.
Right.
Yeah. Good luck, those guys.
Good luck. They're gonna make it their own game.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Let them, Dan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
Let them
We'll see how it
burn.
shakes out.
Yeah. All right, guys. We've got a couple of Xbox improvements on the way for our next quick bite here. Microsoft is making it easier to tell which Xbox games you're allowed to play. This is a very cool new way to tell what game ownership status. So oftentimes when I am playing and I have something on my console or whatever, I'd click on it to play it, and it says, it gives you some weird generic error. Now, so if you have a disc-based game, for instance, and you don't have that disc in the tray, it shows a little disc icon in the bottom right corner of the tile for the game. So it's indicating you need your disc for that specific game that you own. Because obviously not everyone has all disc games, not everyone has all digital games. So it's nice to get that indicator, as well as they've added, so if you downloaded a Game Pass game, and for instance, that game goes out of Game Pass, it'll have a little warning indicator saying this game has left Game Pass. So it kind of gives you an idea of your game library at a glance, rather than having to research and figure out what the heck, why is my game not working? So I think
And this is on the dashboard?
Yes. Yep.
That's really cool. I love to see sexy UI do stuff like this. It's just a lot easier and less barriers to have to click through stuff. Very cool.
Yes.
Xbox has always killed it when it comes to UI. They've always been ahead of the pack.
And in terms of that, we have another improvement as well that they did, which has sped up Xbox boot times for Xbox Series S and X and Xbox One. So the Series X has been reduced by about 5 seconds for the startup. It was already only 9 seconds or something. Now it's only 4 seconds to boot up. And this just further illustrates why you need to have your console in power saving mode now, because power saving mode saves you so much energy, because I think they said it's 25 times more efficient to have your console in energy saver mode. And they've come a long way since the original launch of Energy Saver Mode, where you couldn't update games and that kind of stuff. That stuff still it works now as of I think that was like 6 months ago or so that they introduced the ability to update your games and such for Energy Saver Mode. So do it. Help save the planet and not spend as much on electricity and such.
That is nice, but look, come on, let's eat the rich first.
That's true. That's true.
Priorities.
Wait, let's eat the rich first.
Yeah.
I think
I take more issues with Kylie Jenner taking a 3-minute flight than
I thought you made
the consumer using a little bit of extra electricity.
No, you know
I
what,
thought
Christian, you bring up an
cannibalism was-
excellent point. Yeah, the whole like it's like the plastic straws thing. It's like this is nice, but do you know that majority like there's like 5 mega corporations that like produce like 70% of the pollution, as opposed to like you having a paper straw in your Starbucks? It doesn't matter. I hate it.
Sorry for this diatribe, Dan.
Okay.
It gets me going sometimes. That was an excellent comment, Christian. Excellent comment.
Excellent comment. I think we should do
Eat the
both.
rich.
I think we should do both. Eat the rich and use Energy Saver Mode.
Well, Dan, if we're eating the rich, we're coming for you, buddy.
Well, I'm not rich. I don't know what you think. Hey, moving
We saw you in
on.
that pool last week.
That's not mine. It's not mine. There's my backyard.
Yeah.
It's a small backyard. It's
Allegedly.
Very small.
Allegedly, we saw you in a pool.
You've never seen your backyard, Dan.
Yeah.
All right. After the show, I'll pull that out. Next quick bite, guys. The Lord of the Rings Gollum game has officially been delayed. This is going to upset millions around the world. I'm not really sure how many people are going to be upset about this, but they say that the Lord of the Rings Gollum is going to be delayed by a few months. We will update you with an exact timing in the near future. And that's from Daedalic Entertainment. So, yeah.
I remember those.
No.
Oh,
My
no.
precious.
Anyway. Oh, yeah, nice. Wasn't there a preview of this not too long ago, and the people who did play it weren't too impressed? I think, yeah.
Probably.
So good.
That sounds.
I think
right.
I heard something like that.
I could have told you. I could have told you that though. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, so I hope they take their time and deliver it, but I don't think there was very much hubbub, as Dan was saying, regarding this game. Like, I don't think there's many people excited for it, so
no, unfortunately.
we'll see if this
not.
comes out at all.
Yes.
I mean, was anyone really hankering for a Gollum game?
No, I mean that's the thing, right? Like it's like, yeah.
All right, next quick bite, guys. This is going to affect Roshan because we got to get you on one of these. Anywho, MetaQuest 2 is officially getting a $100 price increase on August 1st. That is rough.
That is so close.
So the 128 gigabyte version is going up from $299 to $399, and the 256 gig version will go from $399 to $499. And Meta also confirmed that starting August 1st through December 31st, those that purchase a Quest 2 will receive a free copy of Beat Saber. That's such a great deal. Get a free copy of a game that's like $20 or less.
Oh.
For a $100 price.
Are you kidding me?
You're being sarcastic.
I
Okay,
am.
it took me a second.
Yeah, I don't normally like tech's going the other way. It's going down in price, so I'm not really sure. I think possibly this is going up in price because VR still has the problem of, hitting the mainstream, and is this a way for them to cover their costs, I guess? I'm not sure.
Right.
Christian? Yo.
You nailed it, yes, because currently the Quest 2 is being sold at a significant loss to the company, and obviously they've been losing millions of dollars year after year, with record loss in 2022. I'm getting all this info from the homie Charlie. Actually, I've never asked how to pronounce their last name. Watchholes. He wrote an awesome. Sorry, they wrote an awesome piece on for Android Central on this, and essentially, you're right. Is that they just are losing too much money on current sales, and they need to up the price, and unfortunately, consumers are going to bear that brunt. And Emmett, I always quote Emmett. Dude is he's on it every single week. He said that honestly, like the people who are like interested in VR will probably buy VR, but the problem isn't that it's too inexpensive. The problem is that the people that are interested are not interested, and then making it more expensive like isn't gonna help that. So yeah.
I think
don't
they really thought that they were gonna be able to succeed on the Xbox PlayStation model, which is where you sell your console at a loss initially, and then you get such a huge demographic, such a huge client base that when they're buying all your software, that makes up for it. But like you said, Christian, VR is not that popular. So when they sort of had that idea of let's sell it really cheap, and then I'm assuming they thought maybe they'd make up for that with software sales. It's like no, it's still a very niche hobby. Like yeah, I think you guys both hit it right on the head. That's exactly why they're having to increase the cost, which it'll be interesting to see now because Meta is also having really bad PR. I mean, they've been having that for years, but it'll be interesting to see how that sort of factors into it as well.
And yet, they're still like the best-selling VR by far, and they're probably still will be even after PSVR 2 because we've already talked on the show about how you still need this thing that is elusive to so many people by this separate machine. It'll be double the cost to buy any kind of VR headset that's not the Quest. Still after this price hike, so
Right.
I don't know.
So this will be interesting for the PSVR price too, because I think it's possible that Sony could even come in at $400 because of that extra cost of entry of buying a PS5 as well, Christian. Because that would be a $900 investment, $400 for the headset, $500 for the console. So that puts an interesting thing there where you could have a more powerful headset in the PSVR 2 than the Oculus Quest 2, Meta Quest 2. They changed the name. And they're the same price point. That would be very interesting.
I have a $6 Best Buy gift card. Maybe now's the time.
Hell yeah.
Yes. We need to play some golf. We need to get you in the golf sessions with the three of us.
I guess this is maybe spoilers for what you got for me, but like Dan and I played the craziest game of golf like last week. It was awesome. It was awesome.
All right. Moving on here. Sony has officially launched a new development hardware loan program for indies. This is very cool. This is coming from Shinobi602 on Twitter. Sony has launched new development hardware loan program for indies to lower the barrier of entry for development. Newly licensed PlayStation game publishers and developers will be eligible to receive one PS5 dev kit and one PS5 testing kit. So very cool way to kind of help out those indie developers that are just getting started and maybe don't have the money to buy a dev kit right away.
Very cool.
Guys, this is our next quick bite is following up on a quick bite we had a long time ago, but a fan is remastering The Simpsons Hit and Run, and we already knew that part of it. He's remastering the gameplay, but now we have also learned that he is remastering the cutscenes and making them all hand-drawn in the same style of the actual Simpsons show, which is super, super cool. There's some screenshots on IGN if you want to check them out. But I just love this so much because the 3D art style of the game really doesn't do justice to the cutscenes. It makes it look like really weird and wonky. So the fact that he's doing this is so cool.
I really wish I liked The Simpsons so I could be excited about this. That is cool. If you're a fan of The Simpsons, this is a cool thing that this guy's doing.
I mean, you don't have to be a fan of The Simpsons to know that Hit and Run is like a great game.
Oh, Hit and Run's fantastic. I just meant specifically with him hand drawing the cutscenes to match the style of the like if there's some diehard Simpsons fans out there, that's gonna mean a lot to them. That's gonna be really cool to see. But yeah, for me, Hit and Run gameplay for sure. I never cared about The Simpsons, so I just played Hit and Run because it was fun. And I'll absolutely jump back into that for sure if there's a PC. I'm guessing this is a mod for PC that he's doing.
It's a fan made like separate project, so I don't know. I guess it'll have to release free. I don't know how that works with licensing.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't get shut down as well. Yeah.
I don't know. There's a new studio, guys, Dark Passenger, that has officially been announced, coming from CD Projekt Red veterans. It's very fascinating, though. It says the Dark Passenger team has been working the past 2 years in pre-production on a new IP based in feudal Japan. And I believe I read that it was a multiplayer-focused game, but it sounds very interesting.
Nice.
I have nothing on this. I'm sorry, Dan.
You're
Me
fine.
neither.
I
Are we
mean,
getting too many feudal Japan games now?
maybe.
What are the other ones?
I don't know. I just feel like we've gotten a lot. Like, what about during what is it, Trek to Yomi? We got Ghost of Tsushima.
Ooh, yeah. I mean,
I feel like there's others that I'm forgetting.
Trek to
That-
Yomi's issue was not the aesthetic though. Like that
Right.
gameplay, it just was not it.
That's true.
I really wanted to like that game so bad. Yeah. I made it maybe 45 minutes into it. And I was like, this is not playing well at all.
It's not. Yeah.
No.
Let me see if I can find more examples while we talk. Could have just spoken on my ass right now.
I mean, there's the rumored Assassin's Creed game that's taking
Oh,
place.
but we
in
want that
feudal
one.
Japan. Yeah.
Everybody
We
wants
do
that
want
one.
that one. We do
That is
want
not
that one.
rumored. That's what we want. That they will do.
Uh,
I remember years ago they gave like a list
Wait,
of places they didn't want to go, and that was on them. And everybody was like, "Why? That sounds literally have ninjas. What are you talking about?"
I think.
Uh,
Shoot, I wish I had this in the doc because I remember reading it. I think Jason Schreier said that not the next Assassin's Creed because that's like a spinoff of Valhalla, but the one after that, he doesn't know what the timeline is, but he was like giving details about the game, and he said that's the one that's rumored to be feudal Japan. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but
that would be cool.
yeah.
I really think, just throwing this out there, and again, totally derailing the quick bites. I think it'd be really cool to see a World War I Assassin's Creed. I feel like that's such a cool time period where it's like you still had people using swords and sabers on horseback, but then also there's like modern guns and like you think about like all the cloaks and the the trench coats that people would wear in the trench. I feel like a World War I Assassin's Creed game would be fucking awesome, but I feel like that's not going to happen.
Assassin's
Hello,
Creed 3 was
Kurok.
terrible.
Hello. Just wanted to wave to
Sorry.
Kurok in the chat there. He's talking to us. I completely missed it.
Kurok.
Apologies, Kurok.
Yeah, I apologize as well. I missed your Twitch chat there. He has VR, PSVR on the low end of the totem pole. Oh wow, he has HTC Vive, not Vibe. We're not vibing.
Well, we are vibing.
We're vibing.
Oh, sorry. Anywho, moving on. Speaking of vibing, you can vibe out and play before your eyes on Netflix with your phone, which when Netflix announced their game project, I didn't expect this, but this is actually really cool. So you can use your phone's camera to blink your way through Before Your Eyes, an accessible, emotional narrative game about transporting extraordinary souls to the afterlife. And you can play it now. Of course, 3/4 of us have played it. Age.
Dan, you haven't finished The Last of Us Part 2 yet, all right? Like that
To be fair.
deflect? Like how I deflected that?
To be fair, I don't know if Before Your Eyes is a Gauge type of game. Like, I'm not convinced.
I bought it. I'm going to give it a go once I
Oh,
have time.
hell yeah. Dude, it's so good.
So, okay, I will. Yeah, I'm going to give it a go.
It's not too long either. I think I beat it in an
What is a
afternoon.
gauge game? What is a gauge game? Does it mean like...
I don't know, man.
Listen, I think you're rightly assuming that I don't have the attention span for that. I'll have you know, I played Firewatch, all right?
It has nothing to do with attention span. It's just, I don't know, aesthetics and... do you like story games? Never mind. You like Red Dead and stuff. Yeah, you'll like it. I don't know.
Well,
I'm sorry. Is that what you
I'm
want
gonna-
from me? I'm sorry.
That is what I
Gauge,
wanted.
I apologize.
Thank you. Don't let it happen again.
We
Alright.
just took a
Yes, Teddy.
I'm gonna
complete
play it.
180.
I'm gonna say I loved it regardless of whether or not I liked it.
Okay.
All right. Our final quick bite, guys. Roller Drome is officially coming August 16th, and it can be purchased at a discount with PlayStation Plus. I thought that was very cool. Christian, you sent this in the chat. It's very cool that they're giving discounts like this with PlayStation Plus for games that people may be interested in. So, and this game looks really cool.
The discount is cool, but I think even cooler is I completely forgot that Premium has game trials. Like what I think the coolest thing about game trials is get to experience things that you normally maybe like aren't sure about, like whether buying stuff like right off the bat. Like maybe Neon White would be a game like you're not sure if you would actually vibe with, and if if that was up on Premium for game trials, it might be. I don't know. I haven't checked, but this is so like yeah, I'm gonna be 1,000% trying it out, and if I enjoy it, which I think I might, I'll buy it with that discount. Very cool.
Heck yeah. All right, guys, jumping into the street meat where we never know what's ripe and what's sour and what's good and what's not. So here we go. I don't know. Jeff.
I don't like ripe meats. That sounds
I
weird.
know, dude.
Or sour meat. All of that sounds awful.
Exactly.
That's it. I like it. That's the spirit of street.
You just don't know what you're getting. Jeff Grubb has revealed that a Black Panther game is officially in development, titled Project Rainier, developed by the new studio head, headlined by ex-Monolith Vice President Kevin Stevens, and published by EA. It's supposedly an open-world single-player game where the player becomes the new Black Panther, and it's still early in development. I would be very, very excited for this game if many of those things line up, like open world, single player, an amazing story, Black Panther. That sounds fantastic. I hope that comes to fruition.
That sounds cool.
I wonder how far away it is if it is indeed true, and when they would announce it. Maybe like in the fall. And it seems like what Jeff Grubb is saying that it might be sooner than we expect. So maybe a fall announcement with maybe like summer, fall release date of next year.
Yeah,
and I know Dan,
summer would sound really good. Yeah.
Yeah, and Dan's a big fan of the Middle Earth games. Obviously, Monolith working on this would be a big, probably the biggest get for him here. Also, on top of being a Black Panther story. So, yeah, I'm curious. They got to really nail who the protagonist is. Like, is it going to be T'Challa or is it someone new? Like that, I think is going to be the big hook for a lot of people. So we'll see.
I almost wonder if it's going to be like a Halo Reach type of effect where the player's playing as like this new person that's going to take the role of Black Panther. I feel like it's not going to be like T'Challa.
I think inadvertently Marvel has kind of put Disney, I should say, but Marvel has kind of put themselves in this spot that's really good for games where they have the MCU so carefully curated that now we're getting to the point where I think they feel a lot more comfortable saying to video game developers who want to use their license, just saying like, no, make it something completely separate. Whereas before that wasn't the case, right? Like it was a big deal when Insomniac announced that they were able to make a unique Spider-Man story. Everybody was super excited about that. Whereas now I think because of how carefully crafted and planned out the MCU is, I think they probably are a lot more comfortable saying to developers like, yeah, you can make a game, just make sure it has nothing to do with the MCU. And in which case for us, like that's kind of cool, right? Like I would love to see this be a completely new character, new storyline where I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, I think that'd be really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, I played the War for Wakanda in the Avengers. That was a while ago. I remember talking about that on the show. But I like the story. The problem with it is obviously it was attached to Marvel's Avengers by Square Enix. But the story itself was really cool. So getting a focus on Black Panther, that's the deal. Nothing else attached to it. Definitely excites me. And it being open world, awesome.
Single player.
Yeah, everything sounds awesome. So I hope it does come together.
Kirik says in the chat, not related to your topic, but As Dusk Falls is out now on Game Pass. Yes. we need to team up.
We should get to that.
The pod is gonna try to
stream that.
up for that. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That would be a fun stream. Yeah.
Guys, Star Wars.
We should also.
Oh, sorry.
We should also escape some rooms, but I digress.
I'm also down for that.
Anyway, Star Wars. I'm sorry.
Yes. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, guys. The remake has reportedly paused development. This comes by way of Bloomberg, which I have apparently reached my free article limit. Please subscribe to Bloomberg. Wow, that's great. Thank you for that. So I guess I won't tell you about that because apparently Bloomberg is gated by pricing.
I can wing it off the cuff because I read the article.
Okay.
The creative design director left and was fired. Was fired, and they are struggling. It was creative. I want to say it was creative director and design director. There's two big heads that were fired after internal dispute, and now they are putting the project on hold to reassess. I guess who they're gonna have lead it. I don't know. I'm color me shocked. I thought of all the games that were gonna be remade, like I didn't really see anyone going amiss with this one. I'm really shocked that they're having this much turmoil for a game that is ostensibly a remake, right? Like it's just you just need to sort of everything's laid out, but I don't know. Maybe they're trying to reinvigorate the gameplay or something, and there's kind of leading to some internal debate. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, something I learned actually with this Gage is that because I had no idea who Aspire was, but apparently reading like comments is that like people were expecting this because Aspire has not lived up to expectations of porting games in the past, which I had no idea about. So they might have just had their teeth sink in something they can't quite chew out, which is a beloved franchise like KOTOR, remaking it for new consoles and PC like just might have been too much for them. And yeah, I mean insane for like heads of that studio to be fired or let go. That seems odd to me. I don't know what's going on.
Indeed. Christian Glenn says in the chat, Christian, you're a funny streamer. From our friend Glenn.
What?
When we were talking about funny streams.
Oh.
Moving into the PXN news of the week, guys. We already talked about the first PXN news item at the top of the show with The Last of Us. But our second PXN news of the week item, PSVR 2 news. We've got some details here from the PlayStation blog. Some really good stuff here. They announced that we're going to get a see-through view mode, which of course Oculus, or I'm calling it Oculus, MetaQuest also has, which is really nice, especially when you're like not sure of your surroundings and you're like, all right, I don't want to have to lift my headset, although that's probably the better way to do it. But very cool that they're giving you this option to be able to see into your own real-world environment instead of the VR environment. They're also introducing a broadcast yourself mode while playing. A new broadcast feature for PSVR 2 will allow you to film yourself while playing, but by connecting a PS5 HD camera to the console. It's a great way to show off your movements and reactions during a boss battle. PlayStation.
Am I able to jump in on this right now?
Absolutely.
Or do you want to wait until the rest of it? Because there's only like 2 more items.
Jump in.
Okay. Well, without touching on the other stuff, I'll say that like first of all, like all the Quest stuff that they're implementing into PSVR 2 is fantastic because the Quest does have very cool stuff, and I'm glad to see it ported onto other VR headsets because like quality of life stuff like that is very cool. Dan will touch on that in just a few minutes. But the biggest one, in my opinion, is going to be like streaming directly from the headset. VR streaming on PC can be a little bit tough, can be a little bit taxing. For this to do all the work natively on the PS5 and then use the new camera to like, depending on how the picture looks, I don't know if they're actually green screening behind them or if they have a green screen. That's going to be really cool to have like a layout picture-in-picture with you moving around and then also seeing the VR game. Again, natively on the console itself. That's going to be huge for streamers and like might sell more people on PSVR 2 than we might think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Streaming marketing. Don't underestimate it.
I actually didn't even notice that she was green screened until you said that. That's really cool. All right, moving into the other item here. Customized play area also, which is another feature coming from MetaQuest as well, where you can set your own custom barriers so that you don't go out and start smacking your lights and your different objects in your house. So that's very cool. And lastly, we're getting 2 different types of modes for the headset. There's VR mode and cinematic mode. So in VR mode, of course, you can play your games and enjoy content that's in VR in a 360 view environment. So what you would expect traditional VR to be. But also, they're introducing a cinematic mode where players can view the PS5 system and UI and all other non-VR game and media content on a virtual cinema screen. The content in cinematic mode will be displayed in 1920 by 1080 HDR video format with 24 by 60 hertz and also 120 hertz frame rate. So very, very cool that you have that option to get a giant screen in front of you in virtual reality.
Another thing that is a big improvement from PSVR 1 to 2 is that the cinematic mode, the resolution on the original PSVR like wasn't very good, so watching stuff in that just didn't look very good. Honestly, like the Quest isn't perfect with a lot of stuff either. Like I'll watch a few YouTube videos every now and then, but it's never the best. So seeing that they're like improving like resolution here from VR1 to VR2 is like really cool because now I can, I don't know, what's going on?
Just Kirk in the chat.
Yep.
Nothing. We'll tell you later.
Yeah. Well,
Just tell me now. Am I being a
Okay.
funny streamer?
No.
no, it's there's
said he-
something that he
yeah.
said is going to be a good selling point in VR.
Oh, Pornhub!
he-
Hell yeah, dude! I'll say it. I don't give a damn.
You guessed it. You guessed it. I think he was referring
Abs-
to the Twitch streaming at
absolutely.
first, and then he's like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't VR porn is insane. I want everyone to try it at least once because like
Oh
it
my
is
God.
indeed
Grandma
an
Warner,
insane
turn
experience.
it off right now.
Grandma
Turn it
Warner,
off.
don't listen. He's talking about a type of church service.
Nope. I did not. No, come on. Let's be respectful. I don't know. Anyway, Dan.
You were gonna double down just then.
Get us out of here.
All right, let's get out of here.
Everybody go to badoink.com.
Oh,
I don't even want to know what that is, but anyways,
Go to
moving in-
manheat.com.
I'm
moving
sure you
into
do.
our quick fantasy draft check-in, guys. We've got some exciting developments. Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels last week didn't have enough reviews to get points. This week, it has enough reviews. Let's go. We got 14 points on the board for
Oh
me.
my God.
Let's go. But
Let's
also,
go.
we've got I always mess this up. Live
Live alive.
Okay.
Live
I think it's Live Alive.
Live Alive reviews have come in, and I believe Christian is it on his list.
Mhm.
I do?
Yeah, you do. Christian got
Oh,
11 points thus far.
not enough.
for Live Alive or Live Alive, however it is. And thirdly, here a little surprise here. A surprise for me because I don't really know anything about the franchise. But Xenoblade Chronicles 3 row, you got some points here on the board, some major points, and it is sitting at 88 right now. So it hasn't finalized yet, but 18 points you're looking at right now with that game.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Sleep with
Stop
that
him.
Xenoblade, isn't it?
It is. It is. No one knows about it.
Nobody knows.
Good.
I was just not expecting that game to get as high reviews as it was going to get. Is my thing.
I think when I was doing my research, I actually looked at the previous two games in that franchise, and I was like, well, they did okay, but I don't know if it's going to do that well. So I didn't pick it up at the time when I was doing research back many weeks ago when I picked up, all these sequels that I've totally played the originals before, right? Right, totally. God. All right, guys, we are moving into PXN Best of All Time. This month's theme was Best Protagonist. And I have to say, Ro, after you put out your video for Zelda started freaking catching up.
You mean Link?
Oh,
Link?
sorry, Link.
Oh my God! What did you just say, Dan?
I'm sorry. It was a
What
mistake.
did you just say?
It was a mistake.
The cardinal gamer
God.
sin.
Oh.
How dare you?
Okay,
sir.
everyone unsubscribe and stop watching. Like, how do
I
we?
apologize.
It's okay.
I
Dude.
Oh my God!
The final results. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Christian.
I bet this begs the question: is Dan a normie?
He might be. He said he doesn't know what an
No.
NFT is.
Come on. Get out of here. So we had run the poll for 3 days on our Twitter account to find who the best podcast PXN, best protagonist of all time is. And guys, the results are in. Arthur Morgan wins the poll with 38.6% of the vote. And
Well deserved.
yes, very
Well
well deserved.
Why would you go straight to Arthur? Okay, sorry, you're giving the rest right now. I'm sorry. I spoke too soon.
Ellie came in a second, which Ellie was giving a run for his money for a while there, and she got 28.9% of the vote. Link in a close third at 25.3%. And poor Joel. I'm so sad for Joel.
I am
'cause,
shocked.
yeah, Joel
I
at
had this one in the
7.2.
bag. I was so cocky and confident. I'm really shocked. But again, like, it's hard to get mad because all four of these characters are amazing, top tier.
Dude, I was thinking about this at the gym today. It is insane to think about the fact that we have one of the most iconic Nintendo characters ever created in that poll at the top, two of the most beloved characters ever created from a Sony studio, and then a brand new character who has only been in one game with a voice actor who has only done one role before, and Arthur Morgan swept.
Yeah.
for so much of it. Yeah, insane. What a
That is-
character that is, huh?
What a performance. Yeah.
Amazing.
Correct.
I watched that clip. That you have on Roshan on your
Oh,
YouTube there
yeah, I'm
again
afraid.
after we were talking about it. My God, man, what
So
a
good.
performance!
So
Mhm.
good.
So good. Kirk in the chat said he voted for Joel.
Hell yeah,
Oh, wow.
hell yeah! And you were on my side about video game protagonists. This guy knows what he's talking about. This guy knows what he is talking about.
But he
Love to
also
see it,
said,
Garrett.
"No, it's Zelda. I got your back, Dan." So I mean, you know, there
Goodness
you go.
gracious.
Just
All right,
Goodness
well,
gracious.
never mind.
So guys, this begs the question: am I just gonna win all of these? Because this is my second win. We've only
Okay,
done 2 of these.
hold on.
So I mean,
Respectfully, Dan, you cheated during the first one.
You did cheat. You did cheat.
How?
You did cheat.
How did
Yep.
I cheat? Please inform
Correct.
me.
You want us to explain this live?
Yeah, I do.
Again?
I think he wants us to explain it, Rashan.
Yes, I do.
Explain
How?
it.
How is it cheating? I would
Didn't
like
you
to know.
bribe people?
Yeah, but how's that
Mister?
cheating?
Bribery's
You know what?
illegal.
You know,
Yeah,
what?
I
Bribery
consider-
is illegal.
He's got a point. He's got a point.
In certain states.
It's mildly illegal. Yeah.
Anywho, I won this one legitimately. I didn't do anything
That's
nefarious.
true. That's
behind
true.
it.
That we know of.
Wait a minute. Can we just clear the record for a second? Because I just remembered this. Gage went to a subreddit for Fallout New Vegas and pandered for votes there. So let's be clear here. There was a lot of.
I don't remember that. I honestly
Yeah.
don't remember that.
Okay.
So I can't really comment on that. All I know is that you did absolutely bribe people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very
So-
convenient.
I will say this.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Ro, please.
No, go.
You after
go.
you. Okay. I will say this. It's very cool to see people engaging with the poll throughout Twitter and canvassing. Shout out to Elijah Miller trying to get Game Over Greggy in on this, saying like we can't have Arthur beat out Ellie. So yeah, just cool stuff, cool engagement throughout the past 2 days on this poll.
Yeah.
So very awesome.
Very cool.
Heck yeah.
All right, guys. Moving into what you got for me. I will just start off here. Forza Horizon. I can't speak. Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels. I played it for a little while with Gage and Glenn and had some real good fun there. It's obviously just more Forza Horizon 5 just in Hot Wheels version of the map. It's really cool to get like the speed boost from Hot Wheels and get to do these crazy jumps that you don't get to do in the actual game. Of course, you do have some jumps in the real game, but nothing to the extent of Hot Wheels. That just makes it really cool. And the cars are really cool looking. All the Hot Wheels, Hot Rod type looking rides are super cool. Also, I checked out a little bit of Echo VR with Christian in between us doing mini golf. We checked that out a little bit. And we almost immediately quit right after because of how just crazy these players were.
I warned Dan, do not put us into a public lobby. They're cracked. Let's play with bots. And what does he do? Puts us into a public lobby.
That sounds like Dan. That does sound like Dan.
I thought it would be fun, and then we got absolutely smashed. So, yeah, wouldn't recommend that. But play against bots.
If only Christian hadn't warned you about that.
I know. If only he had. Ro, what you got for me?
Nothing. Christian, what you got for me?
Hell yeah. Sorry to hear about that, Ro.
It's okay.
Recently we did the penultimate conquest video game decathlon extraordinaire, and they underestimated me. They thought everyone was going to easily get the win, and I won like all of the games that we played on that day. I am cracked at video games, except for Echo VR apparently. So I've been playing games like Fall Guys, playing that new season some more, very fun. Jumped in again on Mario Golf. Still, I think a great game. Deserves a little bit more respect, but I understand its criticism because I agree with the criticism. One day I'll have a more in-depth conversation about Mario Golf, but not today. What else did I play? Dude, 2 games I jumped into this week that I haven't played in a minute, and it was like I was back a couple of years. Still, like just like riding a bike. Fantastic. Can you guess what those 2 games are?
Multiplayer, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Was it a Sony game?
Was one of them Titanfall 2?
God, I love Titanfall 2. I should go back to that, but it's not. I'll tell you. It is the underrated game of 2016, beating out The Witcher 3 for my game of the year
Oh,
as Rocket League.
Oh.
Rocket League, in my opinion, should be in discussion of game of the generation, last generation. It is that good. It is still that good to this day. This game is fantastic. And it's not to say The Witcher 3 is a bad game, Dan. I see you enraging, but it's not. I love The Witcher 3. Rocket League is this good for it to come on the scene brand new. I guess it technically a sequel, and for it to be this sustained in esports, this highly regarded, even still on TikTok, seeing clips for it to be memed of this is Rocket League. It's so good. And I jumped back into this week, and I've been playing more of it. Just like riding a bike, still flying around.
You know what?
So fun.
You said game of the generation, and I had an adverse reaction to that. But the more I started thinking about it, like you're right. Like Rocket League is really like it's stayed. It's here for the long haul. Like and it has no signs of slowing down currently. Like yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
And the other game is Minecraft. We found out that one of the things I love about PC Minecraft is that you can download seeds from other players and play on like custom levels that they've made. You can't do that on console. Turns out you actually can. Users make them and then they upload them, and you have to pay a small fee because they're creating something and they're selling it. But we bought a custom map for $1 because my friend has it on PS5. I should have said that. He doesn't have it on PC, and it's been fun. Relaxing game, just like Power Wash Simulator, just cozy vibes.
Right. Why are you buying and downloading seeds for the internet when I can just give you seeds for free?
Dude, say less. After dark, say less.
PXN After Dark.
Oh Jesus!
Episode 150. Let's go.
Woo! I just realized what you guys were talking. Anywho.
I should change Jeopardy to the horniest games of all time.
Yes.
Gage, what you got for me?
I've been playing an unhealthy amount of Tarkov. Like just an unhealthy amount. 8 hours at a time, maybe. You know how long it's been since I played any game for 8 hours at a time? Probably since high school. Tarkov's got me again. I would also like for my introduction to be reinstated as the Tarkov Teletubby, because that was the funniest thing that's ever been said on this podcast.
You want me to change that right now?
Yes, please.
Okay.
It's permanent.
The Tarkov Teletubby. Yeah, that's amazing.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Also, I saw you playing EFT last night. I was playing Minecraft, and for some reason, your name showed up. I could invite you to Minecraft, and you were playing EFT. So I sent you an invite as a joke.
Did you actually? My
Yeah.
notifications don't work on PC for some reason. I would have accepted that and without saying anything. That would have been hilarious. Yeah, my notifications don't work on PC, unfortunately. But Minecraft, we add that to the list of things we can all play. That'd be fun.
That'd be something. Kirek says in the Twitch chat, I bought Rocket League, played it for 20 minutes and never went back. I sorely regret buying it. Currently playing Witcher 3 and love it.
Hell yeah. Kirek is just, man, he's got the takes that I like.
Well, you like Rocket League, don't you, Gage?
No, I mean, I played it for a lot longer than 20 minutes. I played it for like a good, maybe 100 hours in like 2015, 2016, and then I was like, all right, I'm done. I get the game now. It's done.
A little bit longer than 20 minutes. Oh, 100 hours. Just a
like
little
over
bit
the course of like a year. Like, that'd be like the game on weekends, and the boys are like, yo, you want to play some Rocket League? It's like, cool. I played it. I played it for how long? I played it for how long most people play a Call of Duty. You play it for like a good, 4 or 5 months, and then you're like, all right, I'm done.
That is over 3 days. That is 4 days worth of playing a game. That is a lot of gaming.
Over a year?
Yes.
Okay, maybe. 100 hours? No, that's not. I have like 230 hours on Halo Infinite already.
Sounds like a you problem.
I have 130 hours on Hades.
I love Hades.
I love Hades.
I was talking about it today.
Love Hades.
Why don't you hate these nuts? Sorry, I don't know.
Oh.
That's 0.27 hours a day if you played every day.
Huh.
Wait, what?
0.27.
Human calculator.
0.27.
0.27 hours
every day.
Every day?
Yeah.
For 100 days. That's only 3 months.
For a year. I'm sorry. For a year.
No, 2 hours a day times 365. That's like 600. That's just 700 hours.
Your 100
0.27.
hours. Your 100 hours divided by 365.
Oh, 0.27.
Yes,
Yeah, a half hour a day. Exactly. That's not a lot of time.
There you go.
Point is, Kirek, you're right. Rocket League is, it was fun.
Fair.
100 hours.
All right, guys. Moving into the topic of the show here. Rockstar Games and Grand Theft Auto 6 have been in the news. Some leaked information that we've gotten here, so let's jump into that. First up, Rockstar has reportedly overhauled its workplace culture in the studio in order to avoid prior issues that they have encountered. So they have added some changes here, more producers to help them avoid overtime, and that includes crunch as well. Schedule changes, conversion of contractors to full-time employees, which that's very cool. You love to see that stuff. Removal of abusive employees, of course, also really good. New mental health and leave benefits, which is very good as well. Of course, in this day and age, that's very well needed, especially in the world of social media where developers get stuff sent to them all the time, death threats and crazy stuff that they shouldn't have to deal with. So that's very cool that they're offering that. And also, the staff is more flexible with their time as well. So, Christian, what happened?
I made a graphic for 150 and posted it, and then apparently I can't do time zones. So,
Oh no.
5 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Wow.
that is not how time zones work. So, I'm either going to remake the graphic or I'll just reply to myself saying 8 p.m. Eastern. Oops.
Whoops. That's okay. We're not perfect. So yeah, these are very cool changes that Rockstar are making. Hopefully these are going to make the difference on making the studio a better place. Of course, they make some banger games, so hopefully this will allow them to continue to make those banger games, but also have a healthier workplace environment for their employees.
Can I start?
Sure.
Because we're gonna get into the. Oh, I'm sorry. You separated it out.
I did. I can go
Okay.
over all of it if you want.
No.
Okay.
Perfect. No, perfect. This is perfect.
Okay.
I'm glad you led with this because I think honestly, this is the most important news we got out of anything today. The rest of it is fantastic, and we're going to get into it. I'm very excited for what we're going to get into after this. But this is bar none my favorite piece of news coming out of Rockstar is that they are laser focused on improving their culture after years, right, industry wide. Us talking about this for over a year about how shitty the industry can be to so many of its employees, right? And we talked earlier about how like this is great that this is happening, and smaller studios doing this, bigger studios, lawsuits against Activision. In my opinion, it is so great that this trend is not only continuing, but happening at some of the biggest and most important studios, games that have been notorious, or studios that have been notorious for crunch culture, now coming out and saying we are actively avoiding crunch on what is going to be one of the biggest games ever made. Of course, The Last of Us Part 1 remake was able to go gold, be entirely in development without a single, well, reportedly not a single bit of crunch. So this happening at the GTA level is, I don't know, in my opinion, it's fantastic to hear. And I'm happy that this trend is continuing because it means it's going to be sticking around and be a lot more impactful industry-wide. Cool shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, I hope more studios follow suit, like you're saying, like Activision. Imagine if they got rid of some abusive employees. Wow, that would be a game changer.
Like their CEO.
So, yeah, you could start there. So yeah, this is definitely. I agree. This is definitely a good place to lead this topic for sure.
Dude, I mean, leading with that note, removal of abusive employees. Already, you're doing a better job than Activision. Fuck yeah, Rockstar.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Zach Wynn says in the YouTube chat, "Thanks, Christian. Now I feel the need to play Rocket League."
We got him. We got one.
Gage, thoughts on this? Pumped.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of unfortunate that you have to highlight that as the selling point. Like, we're getting rid of abusive employees. It's like, why weren't you in the first place? No,
Fair
yeah,
point.
I mean, like you said, Dan, Rockstar makes some of the best games in the world. So, I mean, to me, it's extremely positive to see them like you want to make sure that your employees want to make these games, right? Because you do make the best games in the world, and you want your employees to want to make those best games because that's probably why they end up being so good. Or with like I think Red Dead Redemption 1 is Rockstar's best game to date, but that game was made under infamous crunch, like to the point where that was the game that had all the wives of the developers like sending in an email or writing a letter to them saying like you need to stop, like it is destroying our home lives. That game was made under like intense crunch, so it's like I can only imagine the quality improvement when developers are actually happy to go into work and like have time to think of fresh ideas and come in invigorated and inspired. So I'm extremely excited. There's a lot riding on GTA 6, and for them to make these improvements well into development, because I mean these changes have been they announced these changes like I think a year and a half ago that they're going to start slowing down on crunch. So yeah, hopefully it pays off in spades because there's a lot riding on GTA 6, and I think we're all really excited for it. And yeah, if it can come not at the cost of the people making it, that's all the better for everyone involved.
Absolutely. Moving into our next story, though, the next project from Rockstar, GTA 6, is getting some details here. Grand Theft Auto 6 will feature a playable female protagonist for the first time. She's a Latina that is one of a pair of leading characters influenced by Bonnie and Clyde. That part is actually really sick. Like Bonnie and Clyde style, like we got each other. We're gonna get through this. Like that sounds really, really cool. I can't wait to see what that actually looks like on screen.
I had a little bit of whiplash today. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'll explain it. I read this and I was like, heck yeah, Latina protagonist. A lot of people have wanted this. We're actually getting it. And then immediately my next thought was like, man, just Latin in general representation in a lot of like media isn't always the best. There's the classic memes of like it's Spanglish and only one word is replaced with Spanish, and it's like no one talks like this. It sounds very fake and like a white person wrote it. But then I remembered that like I don't know, Rockstar is really good at like having dialogue that sounds like very authentic and like lived in, and just not fake. Like those people sound like real people when they're talking.
GTA 4, yeah.
No, I was gonna say GTA 5. They literally pulled what's the voice actor for Lamar? I think they literally pulled him off the street. Like he's authentically like that style of dialogue, like that.
Right, from like the Los Angeles sort of, from that sort of,
yeah.
Even like GTA 4 had a very like you had the Irish, you had you had your Eastern European, Jamaican. You're right. Rockstar, absolutely pays careful attention to the linguistic sort of like tendencies and patterns of like different cultures. And GTA 4 is where my head went because it had so many different like groups that you're constantly talking to. But yeah, no, I don't really see this as an issue at all. I mean, I don't know if people are. I personally, I'm nothing but hot on GTA 6. We've seen nothing about it, but like Rockstar hasn't disappointed me yet. I don't know where there's a lack of faith in like on Twitter and stuff like that, but like Rockstar has not done anything in terms of finished products to make me question them at all. Obviously, the way they make their games has come to light, and that stuff needs to be worked on. But like, I have no question in my mind that they're going to deliver.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of scuttlebutt on Twitter about how they, like Christian was saying, with the portrayal of the Latina character and if they're going to nail it, and just the satirical nature of the GTA games, just like poking fun at everybody, and how they're going to do in this sort of climate, and people are worried that they're not going to do it, or they're going to do it and people are worried that they shouldn't do it. And it's like it's an interesting line that they have to. Maybe they don't even have to try. Just keep making the games that you've always been making that people love. But it is interesting that the times, I guess, have changed since GTA 4 and all those games to see how the writing has, how it may change that people may not be a fan of.
Right, and I hope they don't, because honestly, like, I mean, everyone has different tastes, but like, part of the reason why I love GTA 4 so much is that it had a very much It's Always Sunny kind of vibe, where GTA 4 was relentless in terms of making fun of the far right and the far left. Like, I remember these two radio stations. There's this one where it was hosted by Jason Sudeikis, and like people would call in, and this guy's like, "There's a terrorist on the subway." He's like, "How do you know he's a terrorist?" He's like, "Well, he's speaking another language." And then Jason Sudeikis is like, "All right, so what you're dealing with?" And he lists this random fucking, just like off the cuff, and then you can flip to another radio station, and it'd be like this child actor who's talking about how he had to do a bunch of drugs and live with like sex-fueled adults to study for his role, and they're like encouraging him. Like, I love how they would just relentlessly make fun of the far left and the far right. So I hope they kind of keep that the satirical nature in place, but who knows what's going to happen.
And I think they will. I think to answer your point is I think Rockstar knows how to push the envelope in the right ways because it's satire, but it's still social commentary on the
Absolutely,
end of the day.
yeah.
And like yes, there are jokes and there've been jokes that they've gone back and edited, like that they've edited out transphobia jokes just very recently. And that's like an example of punching down. What they do really well is like punching up and like in the newest trailer for GTA 5, like they're talking about like gas prices and stuff, and like that's it's that kind of satire that we know and expect from GTA that I think is still going to remain in 6. And just to tie it back to the Latina character, I think the commentaries there are going to be right on, and I think I might be like agreeing with a lot of it. Just the way other characters are going to be interacting with her and like the way they. Yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. Because I'm sure it'll be fun, and I'll agree, and I'll laugh.
Nice.
Yeah. Piggybacking off what you said, Gage, I agree completely in terms of like I love how they make fun of literally everything. That's one of the main reasons why I still love South Park to this day, because they literally, Matt and Trey literally make fun of everyone. It's just really good comedy, and I don't know, I just love it.
Yeah.
We've got some final details here, guys, as our last little note here. Some more Grand Theft Auto 6 details. The working title is officially Project Americas. The main location is a fictional version of Miami plus its surrounding areas. So maybe a Vice City callback there. The game will evolve over time, adding new cities. The game world is already large, with more interior locations than previous GTA games. That is very exciting, especially like the part of adding new cities, because so many times we've seen recently where Rockstar has pretty much abandoned its single player experiences in favor of the multiplayer. And while adding new cities would probably benefit the multiplayer, but it could also very much benefit the single player as well, because you can tell more stories in these new cities and explore new, cool areas. I think this is a really cool idea, and I would love to see more. And I just really want to see Vice City back again, because I love that game so much. I think the setting is nailed perfectly, and love it. Oof.
I guarantee that The Weeknd will be having some songs featured in Miami.
Yeah.
The adding of city sounds really cool, but the interior stuff that you mentioned, like being able to go into more buildings, just made me think of like this is a post Red Dead 2 Rockstar now.
Right.
And all the buildings and like exploration that you could do in Red Dead 2 was awesome, and it had a pretty good map too. But it's going to be cool to see how they evolve on that formula and bring it over to GTA. And how many obviously you're in a city, you can't go in every single building, but it's going to be cool to see if we can go up like specific ones and just like explore a little bit more. So that'll be cool for sure, because Red Dead had some really cool. I think you go into most buildings, honestly, in that game. Yeah.
How soon do we think this game is out?
2024 at the earliest.
Yeah, I agree.
September 2023. I'm gonna say it.
Ooh, wow.
You're insane.
I'm gonna say it.
Wow.
Exactly 10 years after GTA 5. We don't know how far along this game is. We do not know how far along this game is.
That's fair, but Red Dead 2 came out, 2018?
Came out in 2018. This is GTA 6 has been in pre-production since 2014.
Right.
That means nothing.
Yeah,
so even if they didn't start active development until 2018.
Yeah.
I think this is a Summer Games Fest 2023 announcement, and then it gets released next year.
Next
I
year.
mean, not next year. 2020.
I disagree.
2024. I meant the
2024.
year after.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think the soonest you would seen it would be the Game Awards 2023.
Oh.
Yeah.
But still comes out 2024.
Yes.
It'd have to, yeah.
I think I agree with that, Christian.
Bookmark it, everyone.
Bookmark
We'll have
it.
another predictions episode at the beginning of the
September 2023.
year.
Yes.
I love predictions.
Those are always fun. Even if we're dead wrong, it's still fun.
Yeah, because there's no stakes. You can just
No.
throw shit out. Of
Hey,
course.
Unless we make their have stakes at. I don't even know what words are.
Ooh, maybe episode 200. A little something there.
Make some
Put
stakes.
some
We
money on
should
the
kiss
table.
for 200.
I was going to regardless. So there's that.
Okay. All
Anyway.
right. Anything else for Rockstar or GTA before we close out the show, guys?
Dude, when that game comes out, like that's gonna like dominate
It's
Twitter
gonna be
for like a
it's gonna
month.
be nuts.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be insane.
I just want to say I hope we didn't touch on it specifically, but some of there's a lot of leaks coming out right now, and it's all over the place. I think one of the guys, somebody leaked something. This was the guy who leaked the Red Dead 2 map like years before it came out, and everybody thought it was fake. And then when the game came out, they're like, "Oh shit, no, this guy was real." So this same guy was leaking something about these characters, saying that the brother is a part of the DEA task force, and the sister is like is like in the gangs, right? She's like the Bonnie and Clyde type character, but they're actually the actual twins that you play as are on opposite sides of the law. That sounds fucking awesome to me. That sounds awesome. I would love for you to be able to tackle like busting criminals either the right way or the wrong way as the brother, and then as the sister, you're able to like be the white hat sort of thief or the black hat thief. You're like, that would be cool to have both of those decisions for both of those characters on both sides of the law.
That sounds awesome.
That sounds fucking great. And the guy that I can't remember the guy's name, but he's the guy that leaked the Red Dead 2 map like years ahead of time. He's the guy who's saying this stuff. He was saying there's 3 characters. There was a third character as well, so maybe his information's not all right. But that specifically would be so fucking cool. That would be so cool. I would love that.
Age, forget that noise. I'm gonna take it one step further. Remember the heist from GTA 4 and of course all the heists from GTA 5? Imagine fucking police raids where you're starting off playing as the brother in the DEA, that then halfway through you find out the sister is taking like in that moment, and then you have to decide where you're gonna be. Like, are you gonna follow the mission structure changes depending on who you're playing as in that moment. Oh my god.
Dude, that would be so cool. Or if there's like certain missions in the campaign where in one playthrough you'll play the sister side of that, where you're trying to rob the bank, and then maybe another playthrough you're playing the brother's side of trying to stop the robbery. That would be cool. There's so many potential. They got to do this though, because that's the one thing. They've never had a female protagonist, but I don't think they've ever had a protagonist that works for law enforcement. So they'd be able to hit both of those things on the head, and it would add for some really interesting narrative sort of elements. That would be so cool, dude. That would be so cool. Oh, I hope that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Can we just like sign you guys as writers on Rockstar's team right now?
I'll do it.
Don't get me in there.
He'll do it for free.
Well,
No,
let's not
fuck
get
that.
crazy. Let's not get crazy. I will be paid accordingly for my money, for my work. But yeah,
Right.
call me up, Rockstar. I'll do it.
I'll say this before we end.
Yes.
I've been a little potty mouth today, so I apologize.
I don't apologize.
We're a loose cannon here. Although I didn't mark it as a whatchamacallit.
For mature audiences.
Yeah, I didn't mark it as that when I was setting up Anchor. So
Oops.
our new host. Oh well. We'll
Sorry,
see
children.
What are they gonna do? Ban us? I don't know. Anywho,
I mean, they might. It's probably change it sooner rather than later.
yeah, that's probably true. Guys, remember, if you want to sign up for a chance to win the custom Series S or X controller, go to our Twitter at PodcastPXN. That'll be the easiest way to get there. We'll get you to the right place. That will end next week, and we will pull a winner next week's during episode 150 live. So that'll be exciting. Yeah, stay tuned for episode 150 next week, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You hear that, Christian? 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m.
All right,
Pacific.
whatever.
Anyway, All right, guys, let us close out the show. So thank you again to everyone joining us live on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Thank you, Ro. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Gage. I am Daniel, and this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Much love, and keep on gaming.
Rocket League.
See ya.
Jesus Christ. Bye.